Hello again, everybody. This is Derek, and I am coming back with some more Wargaming in miniature. Uh, we're working on this commission here, this 28 millimeter French starter army. It's a Peninsula starter army. But first, this morning, I am going to probably step away from the camera here. I apologize. I'm going to be over at my work table, actually boxing up a shipment. But hopefully you'll be able to hear. I'm going to aim the microphone into the right direction, so maybe you'll be able to hear me chat while I box up stuff. And what I'll do is I'll also move the camera in a way that it looks like you're tripping. Okay, there we go. So actually, hold on. I could do a different thing. I think I can do a different thing. Let's see. That? Yeah, that way you're not tripping. You are not tripping out. Okay, so yeah, give me a second while I touch the sky. No, how does that go? Give me a second while I find out what I need to ship. And oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about role-playing games this morning. While I box and I come back and paint this. I also have the chat widget up and running like that, right? But I can't use it while I'm away from the computer. So I'll make sure that when I come back, we'll have a little chat. If you have any chat that you want to express with me. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I have this long list of miniatures, but they're all like singles. So just bear with me. I'm going to be coming back and forth to find them because my memory, I can't just remember all 14 of them. Okay. Illithid. Okay. Someone got the Illithid. Wolf Spider. Only one. Okay. And Kicking Monk. Kicking Monk. Okay. Wait. Victrix. Right. Okay. Here we go. Okay, some of these are ones that I just posted the other day, which is good. What did I do? Okay. They're not up here in alphabetical order. I just put them up here to save space. So now I have to kind of scan and look to find them. I think these are all plastic. I think I put the metal ones over there. Okay, here we go. Here's the Illithid. The Kicking Monk with Top Knot. Crap, what was the other one I needed? Wolf Spider. There you are. They're creepy. Wolf spiders are definitely creepy. Okay. All right, I did start a sale on anything that's painted, and this customer took advantage of the 10% off promotion by getting a bunch of miniatures. Sprite with sword. Boo. Well, Minsk. And Grimlock. Okay, I'm going to try to remember that. I got the worst memory in the world. Right with sword. So we got that for sure. Minsk and Grimlock. Minsk and Boo, actually. Minsk, Boo. Except Boo is supposed to be like a little squirrel or something on their shoulder. Oh, maybe he is. Okay. It's just disguised by the sword. Minsk and Boo. Grimlock. Grimlock. Okay, there we go. I think I found him. Double check the image, but I think that's a Grimlock. Yeah. Ettercap, Kobold Fighter, Orc Sword Top Knot. Okay. We got this. Ettercap. I almost thought that was an Ettercap. It's not. Orc Sword Top Knot. That's right. Yep. Kobold Fighter. Okay. I got a couple of kobolds up here. One is just called Kobold, and one is called Kobold Fighter. Okay, that guy's just a kobold. Hard to find these guys, they're so tiny. Kobold Fighter actually has like a spear. What am I looking for? Ettercap. Okay, Ettercap, Orc, Kobold Fighter. Orc with hammer. Bugbear champion. Okay, I might need some magnifying glass reading the bottoms of these guys because they look like so many other guys. Okay, let's just do two. Orc with hammer and Bugbear champion. Orc with hammer. Can I read this? Orc 8 Alpha. I tried to put the letters on them as well, just to... Okay, that says 7 of 44. Hold on. Not 8 Alpha. No, I got one at the bottom that's 8 Alpha, so he's good to go. But who's this other orc with a hammer? He's just 7 of 44. Okay. Maybe it's a totally different orc with a hammer. Okay, that's Orc Bravo, 8 Bravo. Okay, I might have to pull up the picture to see what I'm looking at. Bugbear Champion of Craziness. Okay. Bugbear Oh, that's an axe. Oh, that explains that. Orc with that's 8 alpha, and this is the orc with hammer. Okay, none of these guys have a sword. I think I might have just put the wrong number because this is 8 alpha of 40, 45. Oh, it might be him. Okay, hold on. Yep, 7 of 44. Okay. Alpha. Okay, I must have had 2 of these guys. That explains that. Okay. Make sure I got that right. Got to make sure we get it right. 8 alpha. Hammer. Sword top knot. Yep, and it does say there's... Okay, there we go. Cool. Am I missing one? Knoll. 20A. Put it off to this. (22 45), so that's not it. There's a couple of gnolls up here. Those 2 have bows. They're like gnoll fighters, I think. Yeah, that's just a feral gnoll with his claws. He looks like a werewolf, actually. Looking like a werewolf. Okay, so let's take a look and just double check what I got here. We got the kicking monk, the illithid, the spider, the sprite with a sword, Minsk Boo, Grimlock, Ettercap, Kobold Fighter, Orc with top knot. Wait. Orc with a hammer. Champion, Bugbear, Gnoll, and Orc with a sword, obviously. And then there's a Red Mantis Assassin going to a different customer. So let's go ahead and get it. Okay, that's right there. Yep, Red Mantis Assassin. All right, now I just got to package these up and get them shipped out. Okay, let me think about this. Okay. That in a box. Okay, like I said, I wanted to talk a little bit about role playing today. Even though, hey, you know, this is in theme with it. I'm actually packaging up some D&D models. Those that have been following my channel know that I gave up D&D about 6 months ago or so. I did a big video about it, about the reasons why I gave up Dungeons and Dragons. I did not give up role-playing games. Okay, role-playing games I do enjoy. I enjoy a number of role-playing games. I enjoy the companionship and the banter between the players and stuff like that, right? I fully enjoy that. And D&D, now I'm going to have, this might be controversial to some of you. I think it's a pretty good system, okay, D&D 5th edition. I think the mechanics of the game are good for a fresh role for a fresh what am I trying to say? For like a dungeon master. It is really good for new players. It's very easy to pick up and understand, and there's really not a whole lot of math involved, and it's a really good system if all you care about is if you don't care about how detailed the rules are or anything like that. If all you care about is just having fun, sitting around the table, role playing, I think D&D is a great game for that. And I enjoyed my time playing 5th edition. But then I really started to see who Wizards of the Coast was, right? I started to see what they represented, what kind of virtues and or lack thereof that the company espoused. And I've thought this for a long time, and I've been fighting it like that's not gonna work for that. What did I do? I cut them too short. Okay. The company, in my opinion, now this is just my opinion, and I do not know this for a fact, I just know it in my heart that Wizards is an evil company. You know, you just heard me say it. Now, what do I mean by that? Capitalist? No, I don't care about that. That doesn't make you evil. You can be try to make as much money as possible, and I don't consider that evil. I think that's just smart, because most people that go into business are trying to make money. The whole reason why they go into business is to make money, and I get that. And when you get bigger companies, you have different ways that go about making money and stuff like that, and manipulating the market and buying and selling the rights to other games and all that. So that's perfectly fine. I don't have any problem with TSR selling to Wizards and D&D and all that. And then they make miniatures and sell those, and make modules and sell those and all that. I don't have any problem with that at all. The problem that I have with Wizards and with Wizards really is the messaging in their books and the push for demonic activities in their games. I know you're like, Well, they don't push demonic activities, blah, blah, blah. Have you read the latest adventures? The ones in the last 5 years or so? They are, making it popular, or not popular, making it acceptable or desirable to be evil. And they give you a disguise saying it's not. It's just, normal that people act this way. There's no evil agenda. We just want you to worship the devil. I know I'm being a little extreme because I remember back in the 80s when I was playing D&D, there was a bunch of religious fanatics that said, D&D is a source of evil and, demonic worship and stuff like that. And I'm as a player, I'm like, what are they talking about? That's just being ridiculous. Which, at the time, I think it was ridiculous because I didn't really see. I saw, in the old days, I saw players playing heroes that attacked and fought the villain, and you were trying to overcome his evil plot or whatever. And that, to me, is fine. But now, in the D&D world, it's not like that. They want you to join the evil or the banality of evil. Okay, this is act. Like you start working with Asmodeus, to kill other demons in hell, and and then he rewards you with powers. And that's the norm in D&D right now. Let's make it 6 because I think I didn't see the decimal. Oh, we gotta shrink this. Nope, going the wrong way. Could type it, but I'm trying to do this with one hand. Okay, there we go. So, making a long story short, or making a long story even longer, that's why I quit playing D&D. Because I didn't want to support a company that was pushing demonic gameplay. In all their modules. Because I like playing modules. And if I decided to not play modules and just play my own homebrew adventures or whatever, I'm still supporting the company. And, because a lot of times I like to live stream my games or whatever, and it just bothered me. My buddy John Patterson. Now, this John Patterson was a high school buddy back in the 80s, and I used to run a D&D game. And even at that time, he was trying to tell me the flaws with D&D. He got me involved in a lot of other different role-playing games. And I listened. I had fun playing these other games, but I always fell back on D&D because that was kind of like my game. That was the game I was playing. Okay, let me see. Is it gonna fit in this? I know it would fit in this, but I'm trying to. I've got these plastic tubs from buying other miniatures and things like that, and I save them specifically for this purpose. Yeah, he's good. On. Boy, that was a lot. 3/4 of an ounce. So about 6 months ago, I switched from D&D to a game called Harn. Harn is it's got a bad reputation as being a hard game system. It's not. It's not hard at all. Okay, we can go full screen on this. There we go. Yeah, and so I picked it up. I said, because what I was doing was I was really looking for a new game world, and then I found that Harn, because I didn't mind playing like one of my other role-playing games, like GURPS or Palladium or the Fantasy Trip or something like that in the Harn world, right? Because Harn world is a campaign setting, not a game rules. So it's like, and it's generic enough that you can play it with any game system. And so I said, okay, let's try. Whoops. Okay, is that going to fit? Yep. Okay. I said, let's try it. And then I realized that Harn actually had its own game system. And I said, I'll pick up. Well, I picked up the demo first, and then I looked at it, and I was like, oh, this is pretty badass. So I picked it up. Okay, I got all my 2 boxes that I forgot to do this morning. All right, let me go put this out in the. Mail, and then I will be right back. It usually takes me like 2 minutes. Oh, probably on camera over here, coming and going out the door. Okay. Um, welcome back. Well, that's me. Okay, I'm the one welcoming back. So I started running this game, Harn, using the Harn world as my backdrop. But there were some things in the Harn world. This is the point I'm trying to get to at the very end. There are some things in the Harn world that I didn't feel comfortable with. There's nothing wrong with it at all. I mean, Harn World's great. But I just wanted to change up some things. You know, I just wanted to change a little bit here, a little bit there. Make the world my own, right? And not some printed document that any Joe Schmo could go out and read exactly what's going on in the world. I didn't want that. I wanted to make it a unique world so that my players, when they play in this world, everything would be new and fresh and a surprise, right? I didn't want it all to be vanilla. So I changed a bunch of stuff. I looked at a lot of the modules that they had, which they don't really have that many, right? They've got maybe a dozen. But so I looked at all the different modules they had written and decided that I would write my own, right? I would use their modules as kind of a basis to write my own. So I wrote my own. Now, I wrote my own also in my world, right? Not the Harn world. It is the Harn world. 90% of it is the Harn world. But I'm really only using Harn world map, right? Okay, so that's all done. So let's sit down and get to doing what I was going to be doing. Okay, I didn't bring those with me. I needed those. I don't need them. Yeah, I don't need all of these, but I might not need them right away. Okay. Let's move this a little bit out of the way because I think my microphone is picking me up no matter where I put it. Okay. Wait, change this up a little bit. That's where we're at. Okay. So let me get this thought out of the way so I can move on to this other thing that I want to talk about. Everything should be dry because it was like midnight when I glued the last thing on. So hopefully everything is dry. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I was going to put the gun crew on the gun base and paint them like that. But then once I started putting the figures around the gun, I was like, oh, that's going to be a pain in the butt. Plus, I want to prime the gun a different color than I want to prime the crew. So I decided to keep them separated. Keep them separated. Okay, okay, so back to RPGs. So that's what I did. I basically wrote a campaign. based it on the world that I created, because I'm only using the map. Really, I could have gotten away with just buying the map, right? But there are books. They're not even really truly books. They're pamphlets of each of the cities, and not every one of them. They're just gradually, every couple of months, they add a new city or a new town to their collection. But I'm getting into this like 30 or 40 years late, because I think it started in 83. So I'm getting into this like 40 years late. So the world has a lot of information. They're focusing on one specific continent, which has like a dozen kingdoms, and so each kingdom has their own maps. It has their own cities and political intrigue and all that, according to these documents. So these documents basically give you a map of the city and the personalities that are in that city that are important, right? So I appreciate that, because that was a lot of work that I didn't have to do. So I could say, okay, this is the cities, right? They're already pre-generated perfectly. I'll use those maps and I'll use those personalities, but not 100%. Like I will take a Earl of Garderin or whatever, and it says that he does this thing or he likes doing this thing, and I say he doesn't like doing that thing. That thing is ridiculous. He's not going to be doing that. Or maybe I got him liking something else. Like I want him to like, falconry instead of fishing or whatever. That's a ridiculous example, but you get the idea. So I rewrote all the main characters. Not all of them. Not all of them. Some I left generic, but the characters that were going to be involved in my campaign are the ones that I rewrote. Now here comes the hammer on the anvil. So I'm running this game. And I'm doing it on Roll20, and there are a number of players out there that play or have played or still play Harn, right? Harn Master. They're very familiar. Like they've been playing since the 80s, right? They know the world inside and out. But guess what? That's not my world. And that was something that these players couldn't grasp. I have a couple of players that have been with me since the start of the campaign, that have enjoyed the campaign, from what I can tell, and they take everything with a grain of salt. They're like, oh, that's cool. This is interesting. What's going on over here? I don't know why. This and that. But then there's been a number of other players that have come into the game and have subsequently left that were, well, this isn't the Harn that I wanted to play in. Or this isn't the Harn that I remember. This character's not supposed to be like that. He's supposed to do this. And they would leave, right? Well, good riddance, because and that's fine if you don't like something, don't do it, right? If I don't want to stab myself in the leg every day, I'm not going to do it, right? So if you don't like this world that I've created and that I'm running, don't play in it, right? So it's what I would do. I wouldn't play in a game if I was not enjoying myself. Okay, so I don't mind them leaving. I actually appreciate them saying, hey, this isn't the world I was wanting to play in. I'm out of here. But when it gets to players that say, well, in the Harn rule book, it says that your skill can only be, 100 plus your SB. That's skill base. And I'm like, duh. I know that. And it's not that I know that specifically the way he worded it, but I know you can't increase or improve your skill higher than what you can roll to improve it. And you can't roll more than, it's impossible to roll more than 100 plus your SB. So you'll never be able to increase it higher than 100 plus your SB. This is just one example. So I knew that. I didn't think I needed to say it, right, the way he was saying it. And the way he said it was argumentative to be, because the night before I said, you can raise your skill as many times as you want. You can roll to raise your skill as many times as you want. I don't care, right? And he was like, no, you can't do that. It stops at 100 plus SB. Okay. That's just being argumentative. Or not really argumentative. Let me back up. This player is trying to be helpful, right? I understand that. I understand he is a fan of Harn. He's played it all his life. He knows the rules inside and out. I don't play games by the rules. Well, miniature games, I try to play them by the rules. But role-playing games, to me, has nothing to do with the rules. Hey, go for it, painting. How are you doing today, man? Thanks for joining us. I'm talking about my Harn game right now. I was talking about RPGs earlier. I just finished packing up a bunch of miniatures for sale that I had to ship off. We're going to be painting, or not painting, but we'll be working on gluing together some French and maybe mounting them on popsicle sticks, because I don't think I'm going to get around to painting them today. But I wanted to get this off my chest. That's one example. Another example is, well, and I might be misquoting him, so just take this for the tempo or the feel or the thought behind what he's saying. He was saying, well, in Harn, there is no queen in Kaldor. And I'm like, did I not just tell you there is a queen? And then another comment would be, well, in Tashal, they have all of the different temples. Did I not just tell you there's only 2 temples allowed in Kaldor? Peony and Lorani. All the other ones are outlawed. I said it, and okay, when the Game Master says something like that, that's pretty definitive. And then he comes back, well, in Tashal, you've got all the temples. Okay. That was every time we played. There was a comment like that. Maybe it was only once, through the day or through the night or whatever. Maybe there was once or twice. Well, in Harn, your weapon only you only do this one thing with this weapon. And I'm like, okay. And then on top of it, this player, I'm not mentioning any names because I don't want to call anybody out. This player was constantly pushing API. Have you used this API? Which basically you it's a program that you can install into your Roll20 to make buttons appear on your screen so that you can speed the process of the game up. So you can click this or click that, okay, and then it'll auto roll this stuff. Have you tried this API? And I was like, I'm not installing an API. First of all, I don't know you, right? You just started role playing. I've only known him for 6 months. So first of all, I don't know you. I don't know your intentions. And I've had a lot of trauma from trusting players in like MMOs or online games or whatever that have had me install things or not that have caused problems with my games or whatever. So I said, no, I am not going to use an API. We're going to do it straight out of the book. If there's a macro that I want to use to roll body locations, this is an example, to roll body locations, I'll make the macro, which I did. I went through and I made this macro that it's not even really a macro. It's really just a rollable table of the different body locations in the game. So we didn't have to roll a D100 every game or every time you hit something. I made one for low targets, mid targets, and high targets because that's mechanics of the game. Don't need to get into all that. So I made it. And he didn't like the look of it. I'd click it, it would come up, it would show what the body look. Oh, that doesn't look good. You should use my macro because it looks better. It's got a border around it and it's clean, And I'm like, dude, why are you pushing to you? Okay, I get the idea that, hey, I got this macro. It's really cool. You want to try it? No. Oh, and then that should be it. But no, it's like, I want to use my own macro. This macro doesn't look good, And this guy's got the player, I think, doesn't interact with people very well. I think he's a nice guy. I think he's honestly, I don't know him. I'm not in his brain. But I think he's honestly trying to be helpful. But he's also pushy. And at the very beginning of his play with us, I wrote him a letter and I said, you're being pushy. Pull it back, rein it in. We're not using this macro. We're not using this API. And stop trying to push it. Right? But he continued to push it. And he continued to use it. And finally, in our last game, last Wednesday, he said a couple of things that got under my skin, and it was basically 3 strikes, you're out, because I've told him, and I've told him, and now I was going to kick him, right? I was going to kick him. I said to myself, I said this to myself, if I kick him, which I definitely want to do, I'm going to be down to my original 2 players. Because other players have come and gone because I'm not running the game they want me to run. Right? They want to play in a world that they know everything. Right? They know the rules and they know the world. That's not the kind of game I like to run. I love running games where the players don't know the rules. I love playing a game where the players don't know what's around every corner. Right? Now, I understand there are basic rules that players need to know to be able to manage their own character. I get that. You know, you got to know like what you need to roll and when you roll it and stuff like that. But you don't need to know, if you're not a wizard, you don't need to know the magic system. If you're not a cleric, you don't need to know the piety system. If you're not a fighter, well, everyone needs to know how to fight. So that's a rule that I don't have any problems, with. But if you're not from another kingdom, you don't need to know the name of all the barons or whatever. You don't you don't need to know. It's a need to know thing. That's really what it is. And these players apparently didn't like that. They wanted to know everything. Well, first of all, you already know. They already know because they've been playing for years and years and years. They have all the books and they've read them from cover to cover and stuff like that. Where the 2 original players that have stuck with me the entire time have not. They are just enjoying the world that I'm presenting, and they are having fun. Everyone else that's a know-it-all, a rules lawyer, a lore master, they were not having fun. Okay, so I told myself, if I kick him, I'll be down to my original 2. Do I want to go through the headache of adding another player or 2 halfway through my campaign story that I'm hosting? Right? Because I wrote this campaign. It was supposed to be focused around a group of brothers that run into some trouble, discover a plot, and then try to solve this plot by doing these things. Basically, Knights of the Round Table kind of business, but they're not. I mean, they were all going to be knights, but I didn't mind if somebody wanted to play a wizard or a cleric. I was going to allow that. That's not a problem. But that wasn't really the story I had written. But I was flexible. So I said to myself, no, I don't want to add somebody to the campaign 1/3 the way through the campaign, or the chapters. There's like Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, and they were right at the end of Act 1. And to go into Act 2, you really needed the backstory and the build-up that any new player wouldn't have. And they wouldn't be a brother, because I tried that a few times. I tried retconning players, saying, okay, he wasn't really your brother. This guy's your brother. That guy you know, he grew up with you, or this guy, and it was just immersive breaking for me, and so, immersion breaking. So I said no, I don't want to add anybody to the campaign. Um, it it and now I can't really run the campaign from the beginning. Like I can't restart because a couple of the players already know the beginning act, and so they would, you know, they would know. I would have to change a bunch of stuff in Act One. I could do that, but because they haven't really gotten into Act Two, which is where all the adventure is. Act One is really just getting to know the characters and setting up the campaign and learning who all the players are. What I mean by players, I mean who the villains and the allies and stuff like that, the movers and shakers. And they've gotten through Act 1 and they were getting ready to go into Act 2. And I said, no, I don't want to add anybody, but I can't play with this guy. So I can't keep him, and I don't want to add anybody, and I don't want to play with just 2 players. So there is no Harn game on Wednesday night. I closed the game. I told the players that I'm not running the game. I'm not going to play Harn with just my 2 best players. Also, one of my players has been kind of begging me to run a Traveler game. He played in my Traveler game about a year ago, and he wants to play again. And yeah, when I added these heads, now it seems like they want to lean forward and fall over. Okay, well, they're good now. Doink. Yeah, these guys are all got the standards. Got the 1st Battalion Eagles on there. I got the Chasseur officer on his horse. I got the mounted infantry colonel. Everybody's got their heads. I was going to use the bicorn that goes sideways, you know, off the side of the head, instead of the bicorn that's to the front. Well, I was going to use both. But doing a little research, the bicorns that go out the side are not really battalion level headgear. That's more of the senior officer style. So I decided not to use them. Okay, so there is a possibility that I will be running Traveler. Which version of Traveler? Probably the Mongoose 2nd edition. Probably. I don't know exactly which edition I want to run, because it is one of my favorite editions is the Mongoose edition. Okay, he's a gun crew, but that's okay. He can slide over here out of the way. Boink, boink. Do I have a bag for this detritus? There's a few like little bits and bobs that I want to save. Let me grab a Ziploc. All right. Yesterday I mentioned that I was expecting a plastic soldier company order to come in. Like 5 minutes after I turned off the camera, the package showed up. If I just held out just long enough, I might have been able to do like a little open boxing kind of deal on video. But I got a bunch of books in for Battle Group. I got some tokens in for Meg, and I got some data cards for Battle Group, and then I got some like 15 millimeter figures, and they just released a 20 millimeter or 1/72 Humber, and I ordered it because it was a new release. Yeah, that's yeah. I ordered it. I got it in. The box was crushed. I didn't open it up to actually look to see if the figures or the model kit is intact. I assume it is. It wasn't like smashed, crushed. It was just the corners were all crumpled in. Okay, so you get to watch me clip horses. Yeah, we're gonna glue some horses together. I wonder if I'm gonna see if I can use some plastic cement on these guys. But most importantly, I ordered some, well, not most importantly, just in addition, I ordered some German infantry late, early, and they have this other pack called Grenadiers in Normandy. And those figures are beautiful looking figures. I used them in my own personal army. So I ordered a couple of boxes of that for the store, and lo and behold, I didn't receive them. I received everything else except those 2 boxes of Grenadiers. So I sent, but I was billed for them. So I sent a message to them saying, I didn't receive this. So I haven't checked my email this morning, so I don't know if she replied. The last time I ordered, it seems like I always miss like 2 bags of something. It seems, I don't know, inevitable. And I hope, I don't mind if it's corrected. Okay, that's no big deal. You know, as long as it gets corrected, everything's good. But imagine, and this is me as a seller as well. Imagine I ship something to a customer knowing that I put everything in the box and I checked everything off the invoice and everything, and then he gets it and says, hey, I'm missing 2 Grenadiers. My thought would be like, is he telling the truth? The first time it would be like, maybe I forgot. Maybe I overlooked it or something. Let's send him out some more Grenadiers. But if it happens like 3 times in a row, which this order is the third time in a row that I missed something out of the box. I'm afraid that she's not going to believe me. You know? Because I don't know if I believe myself either. That's one reason why I wish I videoed opening the boxes. Because then I could show her. I could say, hey, check this out. This is the video where I opened the boxes. And the Grenadiers were not in there. But they're usually good. I mean, every time that I've reported something missing, they've always taken care of it. They've either credited me the difference, or they sent the missing figures. One time they credited, I think it was Grenadiers as well. The very first time, I think it was Grenadiers. I don't know what it is about Grenadiers. But the second time was British infantry. Oh, where am I going? And this time it's back to being the Grenadiers. So I got all these Pacto armies. I got this French 100 Years' War. I got English 100 Years' War. I got the Archimedes Persians, which I think I might keep for myself. But I'm not going to make that decision until I do a what's in the box. I got some Gaelic. Oh yeah, I got some chariots. What else? Gaelic? Greek. I got a Greek army. Persians. Carthaginians. Got a Carthaginian army. Imperial Roman. So now there's going to be an extra figure here, right? So I think I'm going to mount a couple of these figures on individual bases. And that way you could use all 13 models. I don't know. Or mount one model separately. Or mount one model separately, and he could be like a runner or a messenger or something. Or use him as a backup general. Okay. Grab me a Snapple. Okay, we're just putting horses together right now. Chasseurs. It's got a burr, I cut it. There's a mold line, I scrape it. Shouldn't be too many burrs. Those clippers are pretty squared away. Yeah, there's just a tail burr for some reason. Probably because it's not flat, it's kind of rounded, and the clippers can't get into there or flush. Yeah, so I got this plastic soldier order in. I was going to do it last night. What I like to do is wait for my wife to go to bed because she goes to bed around 11 o'clock. I'm usually up by, till 2 a.m. That's like my normal time for Betty by. And so between that, like 11 to 2, I usually film a couple of videos. What's in the boxes usually. Give like a little. It gives me a quiet house. The TV's not on, the music's not playing. Everybody's in bed. And so I was going to do that last night. But I started to doze myself at about midnight. And I said, screw it. I ain't doing it. I ain't going to film nothing tonight. Because I, the video wouldn't have been good. I would have been falling asleep. That's not really true, but because once I get started, I'm on a roll. I just didn't feel like setting up the camera and getting everything out. So I said, never mind. Not going to do it. Now, yesterday afternoon, or maybe it was morning, I don't remember. Yeah, I think it was before I started live streaming. I recorded a what's in the box, this army. I have not edited that, and I have not uploaded that yet. That's another thing I tend to do. When I'm done painting or done like I'll be painting or whatever, and I'll say, okay, I got to put my paintbrush down, and then I jump on the computer and I start editing videos. Yesterday, I was working on gluing all those metal guys together, getting everything ready to go on popsicle sticks, and I didn't stop that until around midnight. And then I started to doze. So I didn't do any additional videos. Yeah, I know these sprues come with Busbies, and I wasn't sure how many Busbies I was going to need, or any of that. And it looks like I'm only going to need 2. There's an elite squadron, or an elite company in the squadron, and they were Busbies. And all the other ones don't. You know what I mean? They also, I noticed, the standard bearer doesn't carry a flag. He's just carrying a standard, the eagle or whatever, on a pole. So I've decided I am going to make the standard bearer. I'm just not going to put a flag on it. Because it's cav, right? Some players will put flags on their standards for cavalry because it looks better, you know, but that's really only for parades. That's not really for combat. In combat, they would have put the flags away. But who doesn't like seeing a bunch of flags on the table? Everybody loves that. Now, I might have some cavalry flags in my collection, but they usually come with 2 or 4 flags, and this customer did not request that. Now, I did some close-up photos looking at Warlord's images of what you get in this box. And they have the 4 battalions laid out. I don't know if you know how Warlord does it, but it's pretty obvious. They take a picture of one battalion and then they copy and paste it. So you see 4 identical battalions. So I did a close-up on the battalion. Specifically looking for the elite company's epaulets. And I noticed that one of the grenadiers in the picture did not have epaulets. Now, I can take one of the line guys and put a bear skin on him and make him a grenadier just like they did in that photo. But I feel that would be incorrect. That would be a disservice So I was thinking I would tell this customer that if he wants grenadiers and voltigeurs in every battalion, he needs additional figures, maybe Perry or something. Because by doing the math, 4 battalions, let's say. Well, first of all, yeah, we'll start with 4, because that's how many command figures you get. 4 battalions. They each have 8 elite, right? You got 4 grenadiers, 4 voltigeurs. So 8 times 4, 48, right? Is that right? Or 32? Where's my math? Hold on. 8 and 8 is 16, and 16 and 16 is 32. So you need 32 figures to do all the elite. Okay. So how many figures do you get? You get 20 sprues. 20 sprues. 1 elite per sprue. That's not 32, so you need 12. You would need 12 grenadiers and voltigeurs. So if he was to order, right? Am I doing my math right? 20 and 32. Yep, 12. So if he ordered 2 packs of Perry, voltigeurs and grenadiers, that would solve the 4 battalions. But what that would also do is it would create 12 figures, 12 additional figures, or 3 bases. So with those 3 bases, you need more voltigeurs, grenadiers, and a command stand, and that would solve your issue. So all you would need to do is get a command stand, which comes with 6 models, and either grenadiers or voltigeurs. That comes with 6 models. And I could do 5 battalions. So I'm going to let him know that. I personally don't have any Peninsula French that I could sell him. All my French are late war French. So he would have to okay. That Snapple was wet around the edges and it just messed me up. Okay. Now, luckily these horses, you've got a couple of different rights and you got a couple of different lefts. And if you mix and match, it's perfectly fine because they all work together. So you can do, okay, what is this? Hobby link. Hold on. I'm getting a message on my screen. Kraus, welcome. Was fun watching my order get put together. Into the operations, grinning face, grinning. Yeah. So you were here then. Okay, cool. Yeah, just a second. I got this hobby. And of course, I typed it up Hoppy Link. And Little Big Men. Okay, so maybe I'm going to get a shipment in today. Hold on. I've got to... Oh, this is a good spot to check. Mail. Okay. Okay. Plastic Soldier just issued me a credit on the invoice. Okay, that's nice of them. That's perfect. I appreciate that, Plastic Soldier. Now let's go to the Hobby Link tracking. Yeah, it just says on the way. And it says the delivery date will be provided as soon as possible. That's pretty vague. Come on, UPS. What's up with you? No, for further information, track your shipment at the USPS. Oh, okay. Let's copy that. Go to the search USPS with a tracking number. Okay, I've got it right there. Search Tuesday, the 14th. That's today. Okay. I'm going to get my Hobby Link order today. Yay! And it's coming by mail. It says out for delivery between 12:45 and 1:45. Yeah, that's about when I get my mail, usually. Okay. And Little Big Man, I don't ever get a tracking number from them. It just shows up. But I'm not and the V&V, I don't know about them. I've got an order from Okay, that's Victrix. That's Victrix. That's them looking forward to doing business with me. Okay. Yeah, so V&V didn't give me a tracking number. They might not have even shipped it yet. You know, I don't know. Okay, I can close that. I don't need that open. Okay, so these horses, you know what? I'm going to shake this glue up. It probably doesn't need it, but I'm going to do it anyway. Get over it. There we go. Bring the microphone over here a little bit closer. As you can see, I took my cozies off. So if these Band-Aids come off, ooh boy, that's got a strong smell to it. One thing I don't like about this glue, it dries on the touch. Like as soon as I put it on the plastic, it evaporates. Which might be what it's supposed to do. But I've always felt like there should be a bead of glue that you're pushing in and it going squick out the sides. Okay. Horse 1. So I don't even concern myself with the left and right of the horse. I just grab whatever's available. Because it's going to be a random pose. I think, what do you got? You got 2 rights and 2 lefts. How many different poses can you get? I know there's math. What is it? 2 to the second power? I think that's correct. So 4? No, that's not right. I don't think. It might be 4. Yeah, I think the math is 2 to the second power. Number of poses. Yeah. 2 lefts and 2 rights. I'm going to try something. Put some of this glue on the opposite side. Yeah, so I don't like this thin glue. I got it not for gluing models together, because I almost always glue everything with super glue. I got it specifically for getting rid of mold lines on plastic models. Thin, small plastic models, like 15 millimeter. What I'll do is I will clean, not on metal, but on plastic. I will clean the model to the best of my ability. But like, there's like a little burr on the back of this tail. I must not have gotten it earlier. Okay, that's taken care of. But there's sometimes a little residue, a little bit of little disguised cut lines and stuff like that. And so if you take a little glue and you put it over there, it melts those down and you don't get, they disappear. I could have swore I went through and cleaned all these. Now the tube plastic glue, I don't use that anymore. I haven't used that since I was a teenager. See, look at that. There's no glue even coming off of this thing. What the hell? See, I'm trying to grab it without using my forefinger. Yeah. Okay. Squeeze. Use well ventilated, tighten cap. Wash with water. Okay, here it is. Fit parts together. Then use the brush on the cap to introduce cement into the gap between the parts. Don't use on resin. Okay. So is this telling me, am I reading this properly, that it says to put the pieces together and then apply this to the gap between the parts. I don't know, that just doesn't seem right. I'm going to do it though. I'm going to do it on the next one and see if it works. I don't think it'll work. Okay. Fit the parts together. Got it. It is so thin that maybe it runs down inside the gaps. I don't know. And it doesn't say hold it for an hour or whatever. But I am. I'm going to hold it just for a couple of minutes just to... Oh, we got some chat. I wonder if that actually works. Because if it does, then that's going to... I've been doing it wrong the whole time. Oh, yeah. The 5th edition. It's mainly 5th edition. It's not... not role-playing in general, because there's a lot of good role-playing games out there. There's a lot of good ones out there. But, just as an example, there's like Descent into Avernus. That's the one that really opened my eyes. I played Temple of Elemental Evil. That's a good module, right? Because there's evil, and as a player, you're trying to stop it. But then when you get to what is that module? I think it's the well, there's a module where now I don't know how woke you are. I don't know if you even care about that kind of stuff. But in every module at least since the last 5 years, there's always been an LGB character. Always. And they would have their it would be a female or a male with a same-sex husband or wife or spouse, partner, whatever you want to call it. in every module. In the Dragon, what is that? Dragon Heist, there is a Genasi couple. One's an air and one's a fire or something like that. In Troll Skull Alley, there's a in the Dragon Queen, I think it's a dragon. Actually, it might be Saltmarsh. I don't remember, but there's a non-binary. And they really push that woke agenda on the kids, because I think that D&D is originally meant for teenagers. I say that because that's when I got into it. And I don't want that pushed down my throat. I don't mind if it exists and there's things, I don't struggle with gay people, or that's perfectly fine. But it is not normal. When I say that, I mean it's not biologically correct, because two men can't have a baby, and the world is built around families and reproduction, and that's why I say it's not normal. I'm not saying that they're strange or if they're villainous or any of that. I'm just saying it's not biologically correct. Two women can't have a baby. There's you just don't have the body parts. Now, I'm not saying that two women can't be in love with each other and have feelings for one another and be good people and stuff like that. I don't have any problem with that. But I don't want to get into religion with you. But it does go against my beliefs. But it's not for me to say, that I believe I'm a libertarian if it comes to that. I believe people can make their own decisions. But my decision is, no, I'm not going to have anything to do with that because it's a sin. But that's my belief. And so you might not follow the same beliefs that I do, and I'm not going to fault you for that. I don't know. I'm this horse just doesn't want to go together properly. I mean, it looks good from the top, but underneath it just didn't look good. And I'm trying this new technique that they say to do on the bottle, which I don't see how this can work. Actually, I can see how it can work, but and that's why I'm doing it. I was just surprised that they didn't say put glue on both sides and press them together. It said press them together and then apply glue at the gaps. And this little brush doesn't carry a lot of glue on it. Plus, when I put the rider on there, it's going to hold the two halves together as well. It's going to be another point of support. Yeah, so Descent into Avernus is really what opened my eyes. Let me rephrase that. It's what drew the last straw. Let's say that, because my eyes were already open. I don't know if you're familiar with that module and every module after that. Okay, there's a flaw with this mold. I'm going to have to fix that. There's a huge piece of plastic sticking off of the back of this leg. Got to cut it off. But Descent into Avernus is, on the surface, it's a hero's journey into hell to fight demons and stuff like that, right? Which I'm okay with that, because that's virtuous and stuff like that. But it asks you to ally with demons and devils to accomplish your goals in hell. Which really rubbed me the wrong way. So you have to team up with these demons or devils. You carry coins around that have souls in them, and you use that as currency. There's just something wrong about that. That isn't cool. And they make basically hell a fun place to be. It's weird. It's strange. It's fantastical, if you want to use that word. But it's not hell. It's just one of the planes of hell. I get that. Oh, it's Avernus. It's the first plane or whatever. Yeah, I was going to say something about Another adventure. Oh, yeah. In 5th edition, there's a couple of things in 5th edition that really bugged me, and that was before that module came out, and that was pushing demonic virtue. Well, first of all, you can play what's called a tiefling. A tiefling is the offspring of a devil or a demon. I don't know, because I never used tieflings. I didn't even allow them in my campaigns. But basically, you can play a demonic creature. They're called tieflings. And people say, no, they're not demons, they're just kids of demons. Right. You got demonic horns. Your skin is red. You have an ability called Hellish Rebuke, where when someone attacks you, you burn them. Oh no, they're good creatures. They're fun and playful. Uh-huh. Like an imp. Like a gremlin. Yeah, they're fun and playful. Okay, and then that's just a race, right? Then they have a class. 2 of them. Well, really just one of them. I don't remember. It's one or the other. I don't remember because I don't use it. I don't allow it. I think it's warlock. A warlock is a cleric, but not really. But it's a class that you get your powers from a demonic being. Now, I've always felt that it was a totally unnecessary class because all you had to do was be a cleric and be an evil cleric of some demonic being. Right? So it's basically just an evil cleric is all it is. And I don't understand why you need a class for that, a new class for that. You could just play an evil cleric. Which I've got a totally different take on that as well, about playing evil characters. But a warlock gets their powers from demonic creatures. That's not the D&D that I played when I was a kid. playing an evil character, I have a whole different, well, it's the same really. I believe in what JFK, President Kennedy said, and I believe this: we do things not because they're easy, but because they are hard. And I believe this wholeheartedly. I get no satisfaction doing something that's easy. That's why you'll see people playing video games and they put it on the hard difficulty. Because if it was easy, it wouldn't be fun. And to me, playing an evil character is playing on easy mode. Why? Because you have no obligations. You don't have to you don't have to save someone if they're dying, right? You don't have to abide by the law of the land. You can kill whoever you want. You can torture whoever you want. You're not restricted by any kind of moral code. You're just on easy mode. And if you enjoy, okay, here we go. If you enjoy playing an evil character because you like causing problems in the party, or you enjoy torturing your prisoners, or you enjoy causing your fellow players difficulty and trouble, then you've got serious issues outside of the game in the real world. If you do something that hurts the party, your friends, and you laugh about it, I mean, you're not a good person. You're not a team player. And so I have a problem. Well, personally, I would never personally play an evil character. First of all, I want there to be restrictions on me because I want a challenge. And secondly, I'm not the kind of person that likes hurting my friends. And there's these game masters that say, oh, I really want to run an evil campaign because I really want this or that. No thanks. First of all, you're not a good person. And if you're not a good person, I don't want to be in your game. But that's just me. Okay, I think this, I don't know yet. I'm going to have to let the glue dry, a little bit. But I'm gonna evaluate this new technique where I'm putting the model together and then applying the glue around the gaps. If that is what I'm supposed to be doing, or what I have been supposed, no wonder it's been taking me forever to glue stuff together. Because I will apply the glue to both sides and press it together, and this glue dries like instantly. When I put it on the model, boom, it's dry. But hopefully it's like welding the two halves together. And I think it is, actually. I think I discovered something. I'm always learning. We're trying to. Now, there are games out there that don't have alignments. Specifically, let's talk about Traveler. There's no alignment in Traveler, right? You don't choose, okay, I'm going to be a good guy, I'm going to be a bad guy, or nothing like that. You just go out there and live your life. But if I had a player in a party that was constantly trying to thwart the other players or cause them difficulties, I would have a problem with that player. Right? And I think everybody would. There's no need to use the term good and evil. I think that worked. I am super jazzed about this new technique that I'm using to glue models together with this Tamiya extra thin cement. I'm going to read it out loud again. It says, fit parts together, comma. Then use the brush on the cap to introduce cement into the gap between the parts. Do not use on resin parts. Always close cap immediately and securely after use to prevent from drying up. Made in Japan. Danger. Don't eat it. Extremely flammable. Vapor harmful. Figured that. I'm going to have to say, wow. Okay, so okay, it's 1 o'clock. I was thinking about ending around 1 o'clock because I wanted to do some what's in the boxes while everyone was still out of the house. Mainly on the plastic soldier. I still have 2 inventory sheets over here. One from Plastic Soldier right here. Missing my German Grenadiers. That's okay. But I also have this Warlord Games. I've had it for a couple of days now. I've only added a couple of these items to my store, and I haven't added any of these items to the store. I guess I'll be doing that later today. Okay, these heads would be your normal heads. This is a covered head. Wait, what's this? Another covered head. Okay, do I want to mix covered with non-covered? I don't think so. I think I want to do the pom-pom heads. Pom-pom heads. Because these covered heads have no pom-poms. But that's all right. Now, the Traveler game, I'm going to have to decide which version of Traveler I want to play. I'm going to have to decide, like, what kind of a campaign I want to play. I'm going to have to try to get some players. I'm going to have to put together some stuff on Roll20. But because there's a lot of work that goes involved into that, it's not going to be right away. I had a Traveler campaign put together on Roll20, but I deleted that campaign a while back. Hopefully I still have all that information on my computer, that all I got to do is just upload it again. I guess we will see. Okay, I'm going to do one of these, or one little stand, which is 2 figures. I'm going to do 2 figures, and then we'll call it for the day. And if I can't film those what's in the boxes today, I will try to do it tonight. I also do plan to be live again tomorrow. Or maybe I can do the infantry or something tomorrow. I do work on these off camera as well, so I'll probably get all the cavalry done today and then start the infantry tomorrow. Now I personally have like a bunch of sprues of chasseurs that I'm selling. I could easily pull some of those out and form a French cab unit and paint them all at the same time. That way I can get a personal unit finished for my store. But guess what? I'm not going to do that. Because there's a lot of infantry I've got to paint. And I don't want to slow myself down even by just a little bit. Also, if you guys are interested in me painting models for you, contact me at my email address or contact me via eBay or whatever, however you want to do it. And I will quote you some prices, give you a time, like where you sit in the queue. So those those German SS that I finished, I sent the invoice, and I didn't know PayPal did this because I created a PayPal invoice. That way you can just pay it via PayPal, credit card, whatever. And I got a message back from PayPal the following day saying, your customer hasn't responded. Of course not. Just give him, it was only one day. Do you want us to remind him? I'm like, no. I was like, shoot, come on now. Give him a break. Yes, I put it on the model. Okay. But what I am going to do, fit it, hit it, and quit it. No, I'm not. I'm going to fit it and then apply glue around the cracks. Okay. Well, that's good. That's his saber and saber bag. Alrighty. Now, what about these arms? I'm going to just have them at rest. No, I dropped a sword. Somewhere on the floor. Ah, come on. There we go. This is a little fiddly. I just want like an initial grip, and then I'll go back in and go around the edges. But I'm not getting that initial grip. All right. Okay. I'm only putting it there so that it can dry, not fall over. There we go. Initial grip, like a little glue just to grab the shoulder. There we go. Yeah, before I go ahead and prime these, I'm going to test all the joints. I'm basically going to go try to pull them apart. Not hard, you know, just give it a little nudge, see if it's secure. Because this, I don't know if I trust this technique. It's the first time I'm doing it this way. Okay, only thing left to do on those guys is their heads. Really? Gonna do me like that? Okay. That guy's head's in the right place. I just realized what I said. Okay, I'm hearing mail. You know what? I'm going to glue this guy on this guy. Yeah, it sounds like it's going the other direction. So I got to wait about 15 to 20 minutes for it to come back this way. Okay, he's on the horse. Now, let's get him gapped. Okay. He's good to go. Okay, give that about a count to 10. He didn't like that. Ah, there we go. Maybe get a count to 10. Okay. Okay, he's on there. Yeah, normally I'm using super glue on these models. But this plastic cement makes the model look less like there's less glue residue or whatever. It basically makes the model look clean. Okay. Got him on there. Where's my focus? He's looking good. Okay, let's close that up. I'm gonna go check the mail real quick, and then we'll close up the video. Oh, wrong glasses. I can't see worth a dang. That's my painting glasses. Flag is still up. And I'm starting to get a little chilly. Starting to get a little chilly outside. All right, guys. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to end the video here. When I get my package in, it's what did I say? Hobby Link. Yeah. So I'll show you guys that tomorrow during our next video. But what I'm going to do now is take this opportunity to record a couple of what's in the boxes, and then I'll continue working on these in a little bit. Let me check before we go anywhere. Let me check this horse. Yeah, he's pretty sturdy. I mean, I'm sure I could rip it off if I wanted to, but just a little bit of a pull. I'm getting a little bit of a wiggle somewhere. I'm feeling it. Okay, I might have to go over these guys with a second attempt. Like the top stuck, but the bottom didn't want to stick. Okay, he's good. He's nice and sturdy. Yeah, so I might just go over all these with a second round. Yeah. But I'll do that after I do the what's in the boxes and all that. All right, guys. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I will catch you tomorrow. Take care.